Hey everybody, David Art Becker here with Becker Art, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about black and white watercolor. Most watercolorists do not use black and white, and they were taught in schools to never use black in a transparent watercolor or using white in transparent watercolor. I, on the other hand, I now teach many of my students to use white and black in their watercolor. Let's start off with black. Why do I use black in my watercolor, and why do I not mix it? I do use black, and most teachers will teach their students to mix their blacks and like take a phthalo blue and a alizarin crimson, maybe a phthalo green, mix those dark colors together to get your black. I, on the other hand, will just tell you to use your black and make it into a color, like make it a dark black. So I use two different blacks. I can sometimes use peach black for my Holbein and also ivory black. And so if you look right here, I'll take my black and I'll just take it and I will use it. This is right now in here is ivory black, and on this side it's peach black. Peach black is a little bit warmer, but when I put it down, and I will put it down into a wash, and I will start out with the black. And sometimes if I need to, let's say I want to warm it up, I will take like a Scarlet Lake and I will use it right in with the black, and then it becomes a black that has a little bit of warmth in it. So I know that many of the teachers want you to take and mix your blacks to make them colorful, but I find, and now I've been teaching for over 40 years, and I have found that if I just have the student use black and mix a color with it, it becomes a lot easier. And you can still get dark colors by using like your alizarin crimson and a phthalo blue, phthalo green to make a really dark. But I find it so much easier for the students to learn that if you want a really dark, just to use black. Just go ahead right away and look at how dark I can get this. And this, if you look, it looks very dark and it looks solid, but looking in close, I'm not sure you can see that, but there's a little bit of, here, I'm gonna put a little, so you can see a little bit of red in there, which I then floated while I'm putting down. Okay, so that's why I use black, and that's why I don't mix my blacks. I just go right into my black, ivory black, and just take it right from the palette and mix it with a color when you need it to be more of a darker, warm color or a darker, cool color. I will a lot of times take Prussian blue and black and make a really beautiful, dark, very transparent looking sky. Now you got to think that when you're using a dark color like black, what we're trying to do is cover up the white out of the paper, because if we need a black or something really dark, we need a lot of pigment. So even when you're mixing your black, most students tend not to use enough pigment, and then it dries about 20% lighter, and so you're not getting a true really dark black. And so I find by starting with black and then mixing a color into it, you get a really true nice colored black. All right, so that's about black. Now how about white? Most people, teachers teach you to not use white, but use the white of the paper to get the lights of that color. And so let me just show you a little something. How this is the reason I use white with my paint sometimes when I don't have the white of the paper. And so let's say we're using a Prussian blue. And a Prussian blue dark color is very dark when you use it thick like that. See, it's very dark. It's not black, it's dark blue. And the less pigment I have and the more water I have, this is something we learned last week, in that we learned how to do soft edges wet into wet, right? And so if I'm using this dark pigment wet into wet, and the more water I use, less pigment, look how this gets to be lighter and lighter as I pull it to the right here. See, it's just getting lighter and lighter, and I'm putting more water in, and it just keeps on getting lighter. I'm just going to keep on putting water, and so my dark blue that I start out with, this Prussian blue that I started out with, is very dark over here, right? And then it gradates to a very light color when there's less pigment. Now last week when we taught you how to make edges in watercolor, and into wet to make to make soft edges. So like I would take a lot of this dark pigment, right, and I'm going to go here and I'm making a soft edge now, right? That's what we learned last week by making this color dark go into this wet into wet edge makes soft edges, right? So now the reason I use white paint is this reason alone. And it's something you can always tell somebody if you want to know why you use white. Is let's say I want to create this color. Let's do another wash right here, and this will explain why. So here now I've got this light blue color, which is made with a lot of pigment. I mean a lot of water with a little bit of pigment. And this is now Prussian blue, but with a lot of water. And if I have a lot of water, and I told you last week that if you want an edge, a soft edge, like this edge I just made here, you need a lot of pigment. And you need a real lot of pigment to get the edge to be that soft, but then again, that hard. Because that's kind of a hard edge within a wet into wet wash. You're controlling the edge by having a lot of pigment in a very wet wash. So now, what happens if I want to make that same color, this color, let's say I want to make this color, I'm wetting down this area. What if I want this color, but I want to be controlling it and making a soft edge with it? And so if I take a lot of water and give me that color to make the edge hard, it's not going to get hard because it's just going to keep on bleeding. It's going to bleed far away because there's a lot of water, not that much pigment, and so you cannot get quite a hard edge like that. So in that instance, what I do is I use white paint. So I mix this color, that value of that color, which is the Prussian blue. Watch this, I'll take white and Prussian blue, and I'll take a lot of pigment, and that way I can then make a harder edge. So remember this edge right here, look at how soft it is, and it's bleeding. It keeps on bleeding no matter how wet it is. But if I take a lot of pigment, the same color now, because I mixed that color, and now I can make a hard edge. See how I can make a hard edge in there? Now there's a line, and it's a soft edge. It's the same color as this in Prussian blue, but I used white paint to make it that value of this color. And because what happens is most people, when they think about wet into wet, sometimes you have to pick up the right color, and you need to pick up a lot of that pigment. But what if you don't have that color value of pigment, which is the Prussian blue? If it's a dark color and you want to get it a light like this, you need pigment in there to create it from running all over. So that's one of the reasons I use white, is because I can then control my paint that is lighter color of the dark color. Again, Prussian blue starts out really dark, right? And that's easy when you're using a dark color get a lot of pigment and create that line. But if I have a lot of water and I'm trying to get that color, with a lot of water, and I'm going to use a lot of water, and if I pick up just a little bit of pigment, it can't control it. It's just going to keep on bleeding. If you get really good, you can make somewhat of an edge, depending on how much water, how much water. But when you're doing a big wash, sometimes you can't regulate. Like this big area here of water, it's hard to regulate that. And then to put a line in there is a little tough before it bleeds out. And so you have to know exactly when to put in the amount of pigment. So by using white, it thickens the amount of pigment I have in that light color, which I couldn't do unless I have a little bit more pigment in there. Again, I cannot take a lot of water and pigment to lighten my color, because that's how you lighten the color in dark, right? You make a lot of pigment, a lot of water, like I did here in the beginning. So if I use a lot of pigment, let's go over one more time. If you use a lot of pigment in this wet wash, that's a lot of pigment. It's very dark because I use a lot of pigment of that value of this color. But as I go down and as I use more water, it's harder to get an edge, to get it this color. So see how it doesn't give me an edge there so much, it just bleeds in, where this gives me a very hard edge. But if I take white in that color, I can make lines all the way through here because I'm using a lot of that color with a lot of pigment. It's just that I'm making that value of the pigment thicker, and that controls my edges. So I started using white because that way I can control my light colors in a wet wash. And that is a very good reason for doing it, and it doesn't look opaque at all. And that's another thing you got to realize is that there are colors on my palette that are opaque, but if I use them very wet in a wet wash and they're floating on top, they still seem very transparent, even though they're probably covering something up. But then again, look at this dark Prussian blue here. This also is a lot of pigment, and it really is covering up the white of the paper, so it's not very transparent. Though it is in the fact that you can see through the pigment, but you're not seeing a really bright amount of the white paper. You're covering up a lot of the paper. Now look at here. Remember I said we did the black first. Now that it's dry, it dried at least, I say, 10% lighter, and it's not black anymore. But look at how red it is. It's actually almost like a brown because I put the red into the black, and now I have this warmish dark hue of black. So that's black and white. And also another thing I want to talk to you about white is that I love putting a light color on top of a dark color, which again, many students or many teachers do not teach you that because you're not supposed to put a light on top of a dark, an opaque color. But here now it's very wet. Now watch this. If I take that same light color that I had made with the blue, and I made the light color, and I float it on top, it gives me some really neat effects. And it's still floating. The pigment is still floating on top, and it still gives me that transparent look because it is just floating on top. And white is just a pigment that's, it is opaque, but all these other colors are opaque too, depending on how much of that pigment you put on top of the paper. Everything here is either opaque or transparent pigment, but even the transparent pigment, if you use it really thick and a lot of it, it still becomes quite opaque because of how thick you use it. But when you're using it in a wet wash, it tends to be more transparent, right? So make your dark, here's a color. This is a color that has a lot of white in it. This is called Horizon Blue. And if I put it down into a wet wash, it becomes very transparent. It's just that it makes it more of a pastel color. And so all these colors that I have, I can make those pastel colors with using white. And that's another reason I use white, is because I can make my colors, my bright colors, I can make them more pastel-like. So if you need a pink, you don't need to buy a pink color, because that's what they do. They put red and they put white into their red, right? So here if I take red, put it down, and then put white into that, and of course I put a little bit of blue, it still is in there. But if I do that, now look at, I have a pink, actually more of a purple because I had blue in my little pocket of white there. But here now we have a pink color, right? And that's just, and it's still transparent. It is very transparent because I'm doing it wet in the wet. Now if I did it like really thick, and it's almost like gouache, here I'm putting it, there's no water, and I'm putting it on top of a dark, that's called gouache. That is too thick. That is opaque. This is not opaque. This is the opaque color on top of water, which makes it transparent. And so they'll never say anything to you like a Transparent Watercolor Society if you have your pastel colors that have white in them and you float it and make it look transparent. That's fine because it still is transparent. So that's a big thing with, I know many traditional watercolors will never use white, even colors that are not transparent. And I have found that I love some of the pastel colors, and I will use them transparently, and they look awesome. And so it's up to you. If you want to be very much for traditionals, that's good too. And then you're going to have a little bit harder time to create your hard edges or your soft edges if you're working with a light color that you made from a dark color. You would then have to go out and buy that exact light color. You'd have to get like a cerulean blue or something that's very light blue that's already made for you. Here I'm using the white to make my Prussian blue lighter and then also make it thicker so I can then create a soft edge. All right, so that I'm hoping explains a little bit about why I use black paint and I don't mix my black paints, and I use white in my palette. I have white in my palette, and I should have two, one for mixing and one for just using plain, because that's another thing I do. I may go in sometimes and just wet my surface. Let's wet the surface right here, and just show you how it's really kind of fun to take a light color, like a white, and then just let it float in there, and you get all these beautiful little effects of floating pigment, and you get all those little legs, and it will still look very transparent because it's doing its own thing. It's floating and it's creating its own soft edges, and it looks really like it's doing its watercolor thing. All right, so rerun it again. Go back if you didn't quite get it the first time. Try again. Look at this video one more time just to see what I'm talking about again, because I know it's kind of complicated in a way that, but it kind of comprehends to what we had done last week when we come in and getting our soft edges, and that the white paint helps it thicken the light colors so that I can control them to make a soft edge. All right, and also it makes your pastel colors. Anytime I have like a color that I want to make more pastel, like even yellow, if yellow's too bright, there's a really bright yellow. If I mix white with the yellow, it becomes a beautiful toned down yellow. You know, a little bit lighter yellow, and so it just becomes more of a pastel yellow. And you can still use it, like I said, you can still use it transparently, and you're all good to go. All right, so until next tip, and pick up my newsletter at my website at beckerart.net or davidrbecker.com. You can sign up for my newsletter where you're going to see the tips like this, and also what we paint on Thursday nights. Thursday night we paint a paint-along that's free for you to watch and for you to go back and as many times as you want and paint that. And then also sign up for my David R. Becker, actually it's Becker Art group on Facebook, and there you can join up and you can ask questions about your painting. You just dump it there in that area of Becker Art group, and we will talk about it. All right, or if you have questions. So until next time, we'll see you then. Bye-bye.